let's go ahead and open up that spawner script. So we'll select our spawner, double click on the script there. And what we need to do to start is go ahead at the top of our class here inside our curly brackets. We're going to hit enter a few times to give us some space. We're going to say public game object NPC. That's going to represent the NPC that we want to spawn from our spawner here. Next, we want to do public integer spawn delay. This is going to be the delay between spawns for each of our enemies spawned. We're going to say private bool can spawn, and we're going to give this a default value of true. We're making this private here because we want the only script to be able to affect whether or not we can spawn to be this spawner script. We're going to add another private variable here. It's going to be private renderer rend, and that's going to be there to hold the renderer for our NPC when we spawn it, and we can adjust its color. We also want to change the color of our own, our spawner itself, and the particle system at hand. So what we can go ahead and do now is say another variable. We're going to have public integer max total spawned amount, and that's going to control just how many enemies we can spawn out of this particular spawner. And then public integer num spawned, and that number is going to keep track of how many we've spawned so far. Now we can drop down into our update function, and the first thing we're going to want to do is create a conditional. So we'll say if open and close parentheses, and we'll say if can spawn and our num spawned is less than our max total spawned amount. If we are less than that number, then we do want to spawn things. So we'll say can spawn equals false, and we're setting it to false here because we are going to use that spawn delay to turn that back on so we don't spawn them constantly. We're going to add a num spawned equals to num spawned plus 1. And that right there is going to keep track of our num spawned. And the next couple sub-steps will handle actually spawning the object and adjusting some values related to it.